Norwood, I think.
Norwood, okay. Let's see where. I'm guessing the bus that goes around here.
I don't think there's one over here.
Oh, this is Northvale. Okay.
Continue onto State Route 303. In 1.4 miles, take a slight right turn to merge onto Palisades Interstate Parkway North. In 1 mile, take a slight right turn to merge onto Palisades Interstate Parkway North.
This is where you went for the R?
Stay in the middle lane.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we took this road.
Oh, you took this. Oh, that's right.
Use the right lane to take a slight right turn to merge onto Palisades Interstate Parkway North. Take a slight right turn. Stay in the left 2 lanes. In 6.7 miles, take exit 10 toward New City. In 2 miles, take exit 10 toward New City. Use the right lane to take exit 10 toward New City.
Oh, good.
Take the exit, then turn right onto County Route 27. At the light, use the right lane to turn onto County Route 27. In 3/4 of a mile, turn left onto South Main Street. At the next light, turn left. At the light, turn left onto South Main Street. In 1 mile, turn left onto South Main Street. turn left onto South Main Street. In a quarter mile, the destination is on your left, 245 South Main Street.
Right up here somewhere.
The destination is on your left, 245 South Main Street.
Is it here? No. Try over there. Let's see. Oh, it's 254. Oh, okay.
Starting route to Adenigo. Proceed to South Main Street, then turn right.
Then you said 245.
Oh, okay.
Turn right onto South Main Street.
Why is it not in the
then
gas
turn right into the
station?
parking lot. turn right into the parking lot. You've entered the parking lot for your destination.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I still made it early.
Turn left onto South Main Street. At the next light, turn right. At the light, turn right onto Collier Avenue. At the next light, turn left.
Hey Siri, take me to Whole Foods in Woodcliff Lake.
Getting directions to Whole Foods Market. At the light, turn left onto South Little Tor Road. In 1.2 miles, turn right onto West Clarkstown Road. In 1 mile, turn right onto West Clarkstown Road.
Oh, nice nursery there.
Go past this light, then at the next one, turn right.
South.
At the light, turn right onto West Clarkstown Road, then turn right to merge onto Palisades Interstate Parkway South. At the light, use the right lane to merge onto Palisades Interstate Parkway South. In 1.3 miles, take exit 9 west to merge onto I-287 toward Albany. Use the right lane to take exit 9 west to merge onto I-287 toward Albany. Take the exit. In 1.9 miles, take exit 14A to merge onto Garden State Parkway toward New Jersey.
Moses had family around here.
In what was
Spring
it?
Valley.
Spring Valley. Oh, that Moses. For some reason, I thought you were talking about the other Moses.
Like exit 14A right there.
Stay in the second lane from right. Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 14A to merge onto Garden State Parkway toward New Jersey. Take the exit.
further than that. Garden State Parkway.
No, this is where it begins.
Oh, does it? Okay.
There's a GLC 43 in front of us.
Oh, I see it.
In 1.6 miles, take the exit toward Chestnut Ridge and Schoolhouse Road. Use the right lane to take the exit toward Chestnut Ridge and Schoolhouse Road. Take the exit, then turn left onto Red Schoolhouse Road. At the light, use the left lane to turn onto Red Schoolhouse Road. Turn left.
It's incorporated 1986.
How does that make sense?
I've never seen anything that incorporated that late.
Maybe they just decided to split off in 1986.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Summit Avenue. At the next light, turn right.
Oh, we looked here. Alexa.
Yeah, I saw it. Alexa?
Yeah, that's what they were called. What do you call them?
Yeah, those townhouses.
Yeah, because this is like right over the border here.
Yeah.
And then
At the light, turn right onto Summit Avenue.
There was another house we saw around here somewhere.
Yeah, the one that had like
that intercom.
Yeah. And it had like all the old like wallpaper inside.
Yeah.
I actually like that one.
The main, it wasn't really good for the main road.
Yeah.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left onto Chestnut Ridge Road.
Yeah, Montville here is nice.
The school just isn't as good though.
Which one? The Pastic Hills or Valley or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's Pastic Hills over here.
No, Valley was the good one.
Yeah, Pastic Valley is good. It's not as good as NVD.
At the next light, turn left.
What's this?
I don't know what that is.
Crazy in Montville.
Yeah, NVD has like better soccer and better track. Yeah, I think it's like NVD. I think is like the best track team in like in like the whole county, and like one of the best in the state.
Oh, okay.
Because
At the light, turn left onto Chestnut Ridge Road.
Right now, they're doing the county meets. The varsity teams are in the county meets.
Okay.
And then after that, they move on to the state to like the state sectionals.
In 1.1 miles, turn left.
Oh yeah, St. Joe's is also here.
Oh, okay.
That's like another. I think it's like Yeah, it's another school over here. It's not that good. Like their sports isn't that good.
Oh, okay.
Because they're also there at the track meet.
I don't know anything about it. I just know like that Bergen, whatever, Bergen Catholic.
Yeah, Bergen Catholic is really good.
At the next light, turn left.
The only like actually challenging soccer game they've had aside from Ramapo was Bergen Catholic.
Oh, okay.
Like you were there.
At the
right?
light,
Yeah.
turn left.
Just gonna buy like things and get down water.
Like that game, like everyone stayed the entire game
Mm-hmm.
because it was that good of a game. It's one of the only soccer games where you'll see things happen, and the score
You've
was
entered the
still 0-0
parking lot for
at
your
the end.
destination. arrived.
Oh yeah, remember when we saw the Toll Brothers townhouses?
Yeah.
They're around here somewhere. They might have been over there. I forgot.
I think they're on that road. If you go down there.
Yeah, that's what I think. I know it was Montvale. They were still Montvale, so it had to be this way. It was there, and then that kind of that way. That's where they were.
Oh.
And the price of those is like ridiculous now. Probably. Yeah, this is where I saw that other BMW test one.
Yeah, supposedly that was an i5. Apparently they're taking the camouflage off it and they're fully revealing it on like May 24th.
Oh, okay.
But they've already like teased it on YouTube. But there's an XM. There's several XMs.
Yeah, because they're probably driving whatever around here.
I actually don't think the modern BMW design is like that bad. I still just don't like how the XM looks.
They're probably going to change that to like everything. As they scale up production of the new grills and whatever.
No, they're even using like different grills and like different models.
No, but I mean like because they always have to manage production of the new ones compared to the old ones.
Yeah.
Because they sign long-term contracts for this stuff to buy the machinery and whatever. So as it depreciates and whatever, they can start scaling up production of the new parts and then close down the old ones as they change out the machinery and whatever.
Yeah, I know that like with the 5 Series, when they refreshed it, they made a new grill for it, but it wasn't as big as like the other grills that they're using on the 7 Series and the X7.
Oh, okay.
And the 2 Series also has like a different. The 2 Series also has like a different design too. Like they all have different designs for some reason. Even the M3 is a completely different grill from the 3 Series.
Nah, they'll change it over. As you know, as they scale up and scale down production of different parts, they'll change it out.
I wonder if they're all gonna go to like the bigger grills. The 5 Series, like the new 5 Series coming out, is supposedly like the grill didn't change size much.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah, the grills look similar to the one in the X5 right now. Probably because they want to keep the ones that look, they want to keep like the X3 and the 3 Series similar, and the 5 Series and the X5 similar. And then the 7 Series and the X7 also have like a similar grill size.
Oh, okay.
The grill actually isn't that bad on the XM. The only part I don't like is the headlights.
Oh, okay.
Because they change it to like where the headlights are in the bumper. And the daytime running lights, they're like these skinny lights, they're on top.
Oh, okay. Oh, they do have lawns here. I thought, for some reason, I thought like most of these houses didn't have lawns. They were like in the wood line.
A lot of them do. Yeah, the other bad thing about the XM is that like it's priced so much more than the X5M, but it's still like it's not faster at all.
Oh.
And the interior looks almost exactly the same. It just has like more lights in it. And the new screen.
Oh, okay.
And an X5M, like the most expensive you can probably option is like 130, like 135, like 130,000. The XM starts at 160,000.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like cheaper. I thought it was like you could buy the electric one like this price.
Well, all of them are like hybrid. There's no electric one. They're all
okay.
hybrid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the XM is only sold as an M model. That's why there's no numbers after the X. It's just the XM.
Oh, okay.
And it starts at 160,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then with options, you could probably get it up to like 190. And there's also another model that's going to be called the Red Label. Yeah, there's going to be another model called the Red Label, which is supposedly getting 740 horsepower.
Oh, okay.
And
at some point, I don't know, like it's like
what?
Like that much is like it's useless because I mean you never use it.
I mean, you can't really take it to a racetrack because it's like there's too much body roll. Because it's also a luxury SUV. It's not like you can take it that fast around corners.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is like drag racing, which a lot of people aren't going to do to an SUV. I think like enough power for an SUV is like an X3M.
Yeah.
Like an X3M it's basically just an M3 SUV.
They can't think of there's like no more luxury features they can think of for now. So like they put the power in there.
Yeah, but people say that the X3M is like one of the best like luxury sport SUVs. Because it takes everything that's good about the M3 and then puts it in an SUV that's also very good.
Oh, okay.
And people say that like the engine in it, which is the S58, it's like the best. It's like the best or second best modern BMW engine.
Oh, they have the Passaic Road blocked off again. The cold was kind of watered down. Oh, they're doing water. Okay.
That's a GT500.
Oh, okay.
That one has like 760 horsepower. There's gonna be the Red Label, which is like 740 horsepower, and that one's gonna start at 190.
Oh, okay.
I guess like they're trying to compete with the Lamborghini Urus.
At a cheaper price.
Yeah, the Urus starts at 220 or like 215. Except the Urus is probably way faster. And it has like the Urus is less horsepower, but it also weighs so much less because the XM is like a lot bigger. It's a lot bulkier, and it's also a hybrid. You know how much an XM weighs?
How much?
It's like 6,100 pounds.
Oh, okay.
An X5 is like this X5 is like I think
60, no, it's right around the same thing.
6,000. No, that's the G. That's the G.
Oh yeah, gross.
That's the rating, not the actual weight. It's around 5,000 pounds, which isn't that heavy like anymore. Like 20 years ago, 5,000 pounds was crazy. But like 5,000 pounds is like not that bad for an SUV now.
Mm-hmm. Traffic is worse now than it is on the weekdays.
I wonder why.
Like people either because people either work or vote, or they'll take the bus into New York. They won't be around here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the Urus, and there's also the other one, which is actually faster. And I think right now it's like the quickest SUV.
Yeah.
It's the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. And that car is around like 630 horsepower, because Porsche has like the best launch control in like the entire industry.
Oh.
Porsche claims like 3.3 seconds from 0 to 60, but in actuality, people have gone 2.8 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And that's in like an SUV. People are saying that the XM red label, I think, BMW says the XM red label is going to take 3.7 seconds. An Urus can do 3.6 seconds. So it's still like the slowest one, because of like the hybrid system, but it's the most powerful one. I guess like what they're trying to do is like they're just trying to sell it to celebrities just based on like the design.
Probably.
Because there's already like a lot of like celebrities who are planning to buy one just because of how crazy it looks.
Not Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't think he bought one.
He's got the Prius. Oh no, he rides a bike in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the base model S-Class. Or that might be the S450, I'm not sure.
No, it's 500.
Yeah, I forgot what the... I think the base model S-Class is the... What is it? You can get the... What is it? Yes, the base model is the S500.
they don't protrude outward. So a massive preclassic structure many times tends to have the stairways as an indentation inside of the structure, as a dead giveaway. In the classic era, the stairways protrude, and there is definitely some overlapping. I'm sure that me, as well as many colleagues, sometimes if you present to us just two mounds of ancient structures in the jungle, it does take more than just a trained eye to be able to know.
Yeah.
Both overlap with the fact that they're meant to be in the heart of the jungle, keeping you away from the salt, hence allowing control of the governing bodies. Pre-classic would have had very, very obnoxious structures, not as many cities. And the classic period, it really then tended to vary. For those of us, in case there's any of our audience that's a little more into Maya history, that's when you have those classic juggernauts like Tikal that we discussed, Tikal that would have been constantly at war with Calakmul. Something important about Maya specifically, as that's what we're discussing at this moment. We believe they did not do empires. The Maya had individual city-states. They had a very complex political system where one city could be best friends with this other one, but they could be sworn enemies for generations with another one.
Yeah. It's
not
like
necessarily the clearest answer to your question.
No, it was good. I was asking more about cultural differences, but the structure differences are important as well. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So on that, is there any knowledge as to when their astronomy, their mathematics, and all that kind of stuff really took off, or did it start at the beginning?
We could say it really took off in the pre-classic period. It's still really debated as to what the precursor setup was. Let's just say the Maya. There's a lot of belief that the Olmec had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
During the pre-classic period of the Maya, this would have been a contemporary period with the Olmec. And of course, I'm sure many of us know the monuments made by the Olmec of the large heads. Now comes the very interesting global debate when you see that the Olmec statues had such African features.
Yeah.
But as far as specifically the Maya and how they really took off with some of their iconic achievements in the realm of understanding the movements of the skies and the stars, I would say the pre-classic really is when it took off. There's evidence of their religious system already being very well developed in the pre-classic. There's evidence of their ability to track the sky and being already very well developed in the pre-classic period.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's part of what this, like, and then there's this, I don't know if this is necessarily true for this, but the astronomy and the structures, but with other civilizations like Egypt, we see the same thing. They seem to spring up building their most complex and difficult structures early, and then there's a slow degradation over time. Is that also true with what you see with the Maya?
It is, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
If I could use a really good example, I think many of us have seen from different things on television the site of Palenque in present-day Chiapas, Mexico, where you think of the boy king, the boy king that it's such a similarity to our boy king of Egypt by the name of Pakal. Pakal actually was almost found under a rock, basically, by the remnants of his city that was wiped out. I mean, his city in present-day Chiapas would have been decimated by war. And during periods of war, there is definitely evidence that there's a very, very marked slowdown in development.
Yeah.
With the Maya, it's a little bit interesting because even during times of growth, they made a really good job of not destroying previous structures. So it does give us a pretty good idea of how long they would have taken before being ambitious and getting involved with new growth. And definitely for us to really put a time frame on it, we could say that pretty much the last of the large-scale growth of the Maya pretty much ended in the 700 AD.
You have to take like
mark.
the J or whatever the hell is over
You're
there.
saying they didn't destroy the stuff before them? Is that what I was hearing?
Transfer somewhere, then take
Exactly.
7.
So the
That's
Maya-
nice.
The
You
wood
were
side?
just talking about
Technically, you could just
They thought
take
everything
the
was
J
alive.
to the
Everything
E.
was alive. A rock was alive.
Yeah, to Jamaica.
Everything.
Yeah, it's only like one transfer, technically.
A personification. If I
No,
could
but
say
you
it
need
that way.
it's right. It's in Woodside. It's right
Oh,
by
so
that.
it's the 7 then.
Yeah.
Level of importance to where you would
Yeah, then that's very
carefully build over
difficult.
it instead of destroying. If I may, for the audience, in case you're ever in this neck of the woods, there is an archaeological site by the name of Ekbalam. It's only 40 minutes from Chichen Itza. Ekbalam actually has a substructure that was discovered in the 1990s. Literally, archaeologists, as unconventional as it may sound, archaeologists purposely get their hands in and start destroying.
What?
And one would imagine, stop, what are you doing? You're wrecking it for those of us in the future. They have a duty to destroy certain parts as they look for substructures. In Ekbalam, they actually found an exquisite expression of art from the classic period. It resembles a Catholic church quite a bit. There's even the Maya deities. Would you believe that they even have wings like an angel does?
Wow.
And this is something that wouldn't have been saved were it not for their passion for not destroying the previous structure.
I love that.
They built over the previous. So pretty much all of the large-scale structures of the Maya, it's almost like the Russian Katrishna dolls. There's one inside of the other one, inside of the other one. Chichen Itza being the most mainstream, it actually has 3. The one we see, the one in the middle, and the smallest one before.
And how old is the smallest, the oldest, the one at the bottom?
The one at the bottom, it could really be disputed because
Yeah.
we have not, I mean, it would really take some serious destruction of the outer structures in order to really get to understand it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but we believe Chichen Itza really took off during the classic period, so an educated guess would be somewhere in the area of 1 to 200 AD.
The reason I pointed my finger at it is because the pictures that you gave me ahead of time, the only one I picked that I wanted to ask a question about was from Ekbalam.
Oh,
Yeah. How about that?
Stele from Ekbalam, is that it?
Yeah, can you pull up the...
Sure. Yeah, I'll pull it up real quick. Ask me a question.
Well, where did it go?
I was gonna share it. There it is.
You know, we've been recently talking about Göbekli Tepe.
oh, very similar. I saw that presentation you all did, and I definitely got the vibe. I definitely got that vibe.
Well, it looks like it's tapered and fit in wherever it stands. I don't know. Tell us about it. Because I didn't get to go there when I was in Mexico. So you brought it up, and I had picked a picture from it. So give us the rundown.
This particular stela is very, very rich in information. I mean, these funny enough, if you ever want to pluralize, you actually say stelae.
Stelae.
Because if you say stellas, you might get a 2 stellar trois.
Yeah. That's a great mistake.
Yeah, it's a great mistake.
Right? So help me make that mistake on purpose first. So yes, of all stelae that I've had a chance to encounter, that one is pretty rich in information. It's pretty much this one, and if I may, just because of the short amount of time that we have, I almost want to provide just a slight generalization as to this one.
Yeah, go for it.
As well as pretty much the vast majority of stelae that you'll find in the Maya world. These are dynastic monuments. They tend to be what really we would have as an educated guess. It's really a celebration of a specific leader. Stelae are all about the classic period. That's when you really find them. It's the celebration of a leader. Many times, I mean, as you can tell, they've been very eroded, but there's all these hints in them that give you clues as to the social structures. You find little hints of people that are dramatically smaller, and many another podcast would take on that opportunity to talk about gigantism or something like that. But we take it as it's just a representation to show how much more important someone is than others. Many times, a stela in particular has little clues as to when they were built. For example, if a stela is if a ruler would be facing to the west, it would be a stela that was made towards the end of their rule, and a ruler that would be facing east, it would be a monument celebrating celebrating the beginning of their rule.
Makes sense.
Yep. Facing
Can I ask a
150 to
question?
sunset.
What do you think about the south side of a gravel pyramid being left uncovered? What is it?
What are
You're
you?
talking about Chichen Itza specifically,
She's
or?
talking about a site in Turkey called Nimrut.
Nimrod's doggy.
What would the south side, if the south side was going to
Was
be
marked in some way.
what do you think that would be? I'm just curious.
I think it's very special that you're asking me that you think highly enough to ask me an opinion somewhere where I don't have much, I don't really have any education. But we are talking about, in the essence of the podcast, the possibility that there would have been a time where different ideas would have converged on a global scale.
Yes.
So if we could go under that premise, for the Maya at least, anything that involved north involved the inevitable end of life, and south would have implied more of a subterranean. So to me, if you allow me an educated guess and say I give you a random ancient structure about the cardinal points, and you say take a pick between north and south. One is going to be elaborate and one is going to be very plain. I'm always going to say north is going to be elaborate and south is going to be plain.
Yep.
North is going to be headed towards heaven and headed towards the next life. South is going to imply that we're going back to the underworld, back to the beginning, and the beginning is dark and lacks detail.
That's beautiful.
Thank
That is
you
great.
so much.
Because just the site that she was referencing is marked on the north side, the east and west, but the south side is not marked. And we were thinking like maybe that's where the entrance to the mound is. Like if you
To go under.
to go to the underworld, like
Yeah.
you're saying on the south side. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good
Great description.
general.
Yeah, that was
yes.
beautiful. Okay, continue on about this. You're doing great. This is amazing.
Well, funny enough that there's just such a wealth of information. In my world of archaeology, you almost have to choose between two different career paths. You are either an archaeological guide or you are an archaeologist. And I took on archaeological guide. There are many aspects that I'm not qualified to really break
Yeah,
down.
of course.
Yeah.
It almost seems that archaeologists are just that much more, I wouldn't say a rule of thumb, but much more introverted, can get just lost to themselves in a few hours staring and depicting. And I can tell you, if I may, as a little bit of a left field, my understanding of writing, their writing system, it was not until a citizen from Soviet-era Russia that was actually able
Upcoming traffic ahead due to hazards. You're still on the fastest route.
finally decipher the Maya writing system. So to understand what they have in writing is something very new to us. And if someone were to kind of put me on the spot and say, well, jumbling up all these Mesoamerican civilizations, you know, where are the special points of the Maya? They had the most sophisticated writing system.
Yeah.
So it would be a whole thing. I mean, you take months to be able to decipher that stone.
So when did the writing begin? Did that also start with the pre-classic?
The writing also started towards the late end of the pre-classic. There's definitely examples of pre-classic that don't have writing. So it does seem to be that this was when the era when a lot of the writing system may have still been in the oven, and it would have not have been as widely distributed.
So in Egypt, the hieroglyphics sort of go through a process of change. They look one way in the early times, and then they look quite a bit different later.
Yeah, and their usage, the syntax, everything,
Yeah.
lots of things change. So people can just look at a text and say, okay, this is from this period because of the way it's written.
Is that similar with the Maya, or did it stay the
I
same?
think what would become most similar with that and the Maya, I think the Maya were fairly consistent with the writing system. What would have given us clues as to how chronologically they'd be laid out would be adherence to certain deities. For example, it just seems like it's such a simple one. When you went to Tulum, Laura, Tulum is just plastered with the descending god Itzamna. So, for example, if you run into any glyphs that reference Itzamna, I would just almost automatically expect it to be a post-classic.
Post-classic, okay.
That's really interesting, though, that the writing didn't develop over this. It didn't go through a massive change over 4,000 years.
Definitely, from the best of our understanding, there was definitely, let's just say there was enough continuity. There is, I'm sure that there had to have been some considerable change, but the best educated kind of understanding that I have here is that archaeologists, that I've been around many, they don't run into a brick wall when they say, oh, well, these glyphs are from a period that I don't understand. It tends to be either you're good at deciphering glyphs or you're not, and you never really hear in the community of proper archaeologists to say, hey, bring in Felipe because he's really good at the early classic glyphs, and so is really good with the post-classic glyphs. That doesn't tend to be the case.
Okay. So if there was a shift, it's not that big, is what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure studying it enough, we're going to see some shift.
Yeah.
I think if we use the comparison point as Egypt, it wouldn't have been as marked as Egypt.
Yeah. There might be style changes or things, but you can still read it.
Yeah. So part of the reason, the reason I'm kind of focusing on this is again, this interesting phenomenon where something just seems to appear out of nowhere, and that like this incredibly complex writing system shows up in the very early stages of this civilization and then continues on with very little change for thousands of years. That's incredible to me.
It's funny you say that, Kyle. If I could compliment quickly on that, the Maya as a civilization, they do show a very considerable mark that being insular. They're a little bit more of an insular society. They did trade with, for example, Teotihuacan. That's maybe a whole other podcast. But for the most part, the Maya had certain characteristics that made them very insular. Like, for example, it tended to be that if you don't have a trained eye for it, you almost would think that the Maya picked all the lush paradises in order to create their settlements. It couldn't be farther from the truth. The Maya were very stubborn people I say that in an affectionate way, very stubborn to say that when they picked the place, they made it work. And that same stubborn nature required continuity. And I believe that same continuity, it really has the underlying effect of their culture.
Yeah, I can see that. Everyone said it was daft to build a pyramid in a swamp. But I built it all the same.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And we will be back. This has been great.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, Brothers of the Serpent podcast, joined by Laura.
Hello.
And also our guest today, John, from Living Dreams, Mexico. And I think, well, first we're going to take a look at a place that Laura went to. You want to talk about it for a second?
Tulum. Well, John's going to talk about it.
The name of this place, I don't even know. Laura has some pictures and she wanted to ask.
It's Tulum. It's just a building at Tulum. John's going to give us the deal. And I want to know, you had said in the other segment that places like Tulum, there are markers there in some way that let you all know that it's from a certain period. And this building was really interesting, and I wanted to know what's going on with all these.
She wants you to read the writing for her, bro.
Well, let's have at it. That specific image that you see there is really the deity of Tulum. Like Egyptians, like many different ancient civilizations, we had a little bit of a polytheistic approach towards their belief system. this specific deity that stems from the post-classic period of the Maya, known as Itzamna, is really the most by far the most prevalent of the deities in Tulum. If I can ask you, Kyle, to scroll to a more complete image of that structure.
There's one on the side.
That one's perfect. That one is perfect. If we could leave that one for just a moment. We talked about how you could really identify a structure's time period through the design work.
Yeah.
There are a dozen plus different architectural styles in the Mayan world. I would say the softball, easy one for everyone here in case you're ever out and about exploring and you want to flex a little bit of Brothers of the Serpent muscle. This is what we call Oriental Coast post-classic. So you have a little bit of an archaeological bouginess going on.
Right.
So how do you identify Oriental Coast post-classic architecture?
Well, number one, it's at the coast.
Yeah.
For one, it's on the coast. There you go. Now you could go even further and maybe identify something like this deep inland and leave someone scratching their head and say, hey, this Oriental Coast post-classic structure has no business so far away from the ocean, which is not at all common, but it does happen. For example, Koba, that would be 40 minutes west of Tulum, in the very, very summit of the largest structure, it has a temple from that architectural style. So it leads us to know that even though Koba predated Tulum by centuries, Tulum was aware of it. Tulum was aware that it existed. They must have done some kind of a pilgrimage to visit that sacred mount, and they revered it enough to build a small temple at the very top of it. So not common, but it can happen. But yes, mostly you are right. It is going to be on the coast as a deck giveaway. Another reason why this
Save 4 minutes via Cross Bronx Expressway.
simple is it lacks. I would say it lacks the most creativity. Maybe that's just my poor depiction on it, but it's very boxy, and it has these telltale lines that run across a box structure. So can you tell for a guess? You see that one? And the 3 is a little bit of an anomaly. The typical is the top 2.
These two.
So basically, if you ever stumble upon an ancient Maya structure that is boxy and has 2 bars running across, you can do your Brothers of the Serpent and say, hey, I think that's an Oriental Coast post-classic architecture. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Now, if I may, that architectural style, because there's some, like we mentioned earlier, sometimes we have a little bit of the almost frustration because a lot of the history has been lost due to weather and purposeful destruction. Sometimes these architectural details are the best giveaway that there is definitely a relationship between one structure and another that is of a distance. Remember, the Maya particularly, they did not have wheels of common use. They did not have beasts of burden. They had elaborate road systems, but they would walk them. So a way to know that a structure was at the very least, a city would have been aware of another, is the stark similarities in style. The Oriental Coast architectural style, it does not originate from the coast. It originates from Chichen Itza. So that we could say Chichen Itza would have been the precursor.
Yeah.
Not to be so all over the place with our topics, but we could have a viewer in this podcast that could say, wait a minute, I've seen that style before, and it was definitely not on the coast. The El Castillo, or the castle pyramidal structure at Chichen Itza, the very top of it, is really the origin of that style.
And this building was, the story goes something about water here with this one?
Well, this one we know it as the Temple of the Frescoes. That's how we really refer to it today. There are some fresco paintings, some remnants of them. that are inside of it. I know it as a ceremonial
Should have just
structure.
taken the, what do you
Now,
call it,
if I may drop another
crossbones.
Brothers of the
Yeah.
Serpent little gem, whenever you're asked a question and you don't have a concise answer, your bailout answer is ceremonial purposes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's definitely for ceremonies. Yeah.
Well, should we go to Chichen Itza, the
Yeah,
picture that we had? Oh, I see it there.
Are we gonna look at this one that you had me pull up? The
I think it'd be great to pull up. I
Yeah.
think you all had a
Are the Yankees playing? Maybe that's
keen
why.
eye for the tapering at the bottom of structures.
It's Saturday, so they might be.
Especially because from a stability standpoint, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
so this is
Yeah. So what?
This particular structure, and funny enough, I think as far as any archaeological experiences without having to leave the continent for those of for our viewers that are in North America, I think Chichen Itza is one of the most commonly visited. It's the number 2 most visited in the continent, only behind Teotihuacan. Chichen Itza is actually 2 different archaeological sites in one location. It's divvied up between old and new. New being a time period when during the collapse, I kind of jokingly call it like the Walking Dead of the Maya. When it was all going downhill, Chichen Itza had a mysterious resurgence, and hence the very large structures that have a ton of influence from central Mexico, non-Mayan influence. What we're looking at right here, this is what we call old Chichen Itza. This is proper, purist Maya architecture. This architectural style, if you'll notice, it's very purposely built to have the most narrow section at the very bottom. So the most weight-bearing portion is not at all the widest.
Yeah. That is interesting.
so
The common understanding here is that this structure is really celebrating the kind of tying together the underworld along with the surface world, and at the very top would be the heavens. What you see there are masks of the Maya water god. You'll notice if you can tell the mouth, he looks pretty angry, the nose is there.
okay. There's
You
the
can
mouth
even
right
see
here.
the one on the very far left. It really accentuates the raindrops that are above his eyeball.
Oh yeah.
And also, if you look a little bit to the right, you see the seashell. Just right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
I was gonna say this kind of looks one of these sort of look a little bit like the Egyptian crowns, like the bowling pin hat. But yeah, seashells, and then would it be the same over here?
It in all likelihood would have been the same with what's left of it.
So this is a nose.
Yeah, what's the curved part coming out? I was just about to ask that.
Well, funny enough, there's something about the Maya that you definitely don't mention on a conventional tour. They were very much about celebrating phallic protrusions. That, you know, their view on all of that was just different than like a modern Western view. They were more about fertility and reproduction. So that would be something a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and I mean it looks, you know, like an elephant trunk.
That's what I thought too. Of course, they shouldn't have known about elephants, right?
Or a snake? I mean,
Yeah.
I hear you on the elephant. It definitely gives you a resemblance to elephants.
It's a prominent proboscis.
oh, it's coming out. It's coming out of his mouth.
Definitely the nose.
It's his nose.
Like the
His mouth
It's
is
his nose.
under
Yes,
there.
Okay.
There's
we
the
call
mouth.
it the elongated nose.
Okay.
That is really cool. That's a beautiful structure. I love
It
the way
is.
they built all these like little geometric shapes into the blocks here.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
The
Then we
very bottom of that structure had a lot of reference to the underworld, and you can really see how the underworld, when we think of an underworld, is very dark, and so you'll notice that it plays on darkness to not show you anything.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say. So this is originally not supposed to be adorned with any type of artwork.
No, it's very purposeful. If you enter the underworld, you need a flame, you need light. You
Yeah.
can't see it; it's dark. So it plays on the darkness and mystery of the underworld.
Is that door right there facing south?
Well, would you believe I've never checked that? That's something that I should check next time I'm in the neighborhood.
How much reconstruction?
Wait. You can't just call down there to somebody? You're not
Should be
connected.
able to at this point. I'm not
Just
serious.
call up somebody and ask if
Let's
it's
get 'em on
facing
Zoom.
south.
How much reconstruction was done on these sites? Was this found basically intact, or do you know if they rebuilt it?
I think that is a very sensitive topic because the mainstream acceptable approach towards reconstruction has changed over time.
Yeah.
But the most important reconstruction done at Chichen Itza was done in the very early 1900s. You cannot really talk about the beginning of Maya history without bringing up Stevens and Catherwood. Stevens and Catherwood were, not really diverting too much from your original question, but these gentlemen actually, before photographs, they went around the Yucatan Peninsula painting the structures. We didn't have cameras, so they painted remains, and their paintings were a little bit of a map for proper reconstruction if needed at all.
Mm.
So sometimes in the early 1900s, there was actually American archaeologists that did a lot of the rebuilding. Many don't know, but Chichen Itza used to belong to an American by the name of Edward Thompson for a few years, and there was a lot of work done. He had a close relationship with the Peabody Museum. Some extraction of artifacts that's a little bit controversial depending on who you ask, but there has been some, and
Yeah.
I can tell you that there was a very purposeful effort to keep continuity from the evidence of the paintings from Frederick Catherwood.
I remember reading too that I'm not sure which pyramids it was, but there were, these guys were basically just digging into the side of his very early days. They may have more been like looking for treasure or whatever, but apparently there was some like sheets of mica at Teotihuacan.
Probably buy you like an old car,
out of there.
and then when we drive it somewhere, I'll have a dash cam in there. And if somebody like tries to sneak in or whatever, just scratch their car and catch it on dash cam.
Yeah.
The sheets of mica is something that I hadn't had the
Then
chance.
get paid for it.
Teotihuacan is a site that I visit purely for
You
leisure.
can probably get like new cars like that used cars like that all the time. Like somebody damages your car with when it's their fault.
I was going to
Just
save
keep,
the Mercury question to the very end, but you just
Keep letting people hit your old car.
Okay, so what's the deal now that we've stepped in it?
Well, no, that was so part of the thing about the discovery of this chamber underneath the pyramid.
For some reason, like older M5s from like the early 2000s, they keep appreciating. They're appreciating more than any other BMW from the era.
Type things that were
Somebody probably saw it on YouTube,
strange
but now
spheres.
people want it.
They weren't spherical, really. They were just like
It's because because the one before it was hand built and it's super rare, so they're already very high priced. And the one after is like really, it's very powerful, but it's super unreliable. It's like the good one in between.
The liquid mercury supposedly came in as like
for $184,000. You know what they call a great deal?
What?
On
Like 200,000 miles?
It's 184,000 miles. You know what they call a great deal? On I think it's autotempest.com.
What?
$24,000.
security system there. I didn't get to see the actual layout of it, but
This one, then 152,000 miles.
as an example, in the Maya world,
This one
if you've ever heard of the
is
Red
$20,000.
Pakal's mother in the site of Palenque,
That's just how
she
old
was
M
covered
cars are.
in cinnabar, specifically as a poison for anyone
And the
that would try
M5 is just like,
try to rob the grave.
the chassis code for it was the E39.
Yeah, so
And it had the S62 V8.
Yes, and then you close off the chamber. It's basically a chamber full of
And
gas.
it was a four-door sedan that only came in a manual.
Yeah.
And it had a
So have
5
they
liter
found
V8.
any original burials?
Yeah, now they're just
underneath or
worth so
inside any
much.
pyramids in Mexico.
Well,
Sorry,
Yeah, this one is
that
54,000
such a great
miles.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike
Guess
what we believe
guess what they're asking for it.
What?
many ancient,
$60,000.
structures that would have been built as mausoleums in other parts of the world. In
The cars are
Maya
originally
world, for
their
example,
cars are originally like
not so.
$50,000 brand new.
Not so. So the best way to describe it is
This one is
it's
70.
almost like the difference
This one is
between
74,000
saying there
miles,
were remains
and they're
found,
asking
but there's
$47,000.
no concrete evidence to show
Oh, okay.
that the structure was built as a tomb.
Yeah.
This one they're
It's
asking
almost like the difference
40,000
between
for
saying,
125,000
someone of important
miles.
status decides, is able to have their remains placed in a church, but that doesn't mean that the church was
And then
built
let's see.
as a tomb for their remains.
Oh, this one
It
this one
really
has
is more along
27,000
those
miles,
lines. There are
Mhm.
and they're
cavities that have
asking
been found, but if I
$73,000.
could say the poster child of all of the structures of the Americas for ancient civilizations are at the very
And this
least
one,
North America, because we know
746
South America
miles,
is a
Yeah.
whole
and they're asking
separate can of worms.
$300,000.
That puts a lot of mainstream
Oh, okay.
history upside down.
Yeah.
But at the very least, in North America, there is the temple that found in Palenque, Chiapas. This temple of I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh, there's one being auctioned. There's only one bid on it, and it's $6,000 right now.
Huh.
It's in Dallas,
you'll
Texas.
See that this is something that the History Channel
Oh.
has actually talked a lot about. And we know there's certain shows that have different angles to archaeology that we won't be mentioning so specifically, but this is when they really get creative.
Oh, there's an accident.
And a
That's
big
why.
source
Oh.
for that creativity.
I
comes
think it's
from
an
this
accident. I'm not
structure
sure.
Where there was actually a proper sarcophagus. Now, when you mention a sarcophagus,
Well, it's something.
now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now there is undeniable evidence that a structure was built specifically for the purpose of being a tomb.
They dumping oil?
The temple where this sarcophagus was found, this particular temple, the sarcophagus
Salad
is so,
oil.
It's so absolutely massive. There's just absolutely no way to get it in. You have to build the sarcophagus and then build the temple around it.
Oh,
I
okay.
gotcha.
So that's an outlier.
I think Kyle found it. He's gonna share it.
Now, if you could add there the sarcophagus, so it could maybe even be that much more specific.
Yeah, you want the lid to Is the that- sarcophagus. is
The
this-
lid,
this-
yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it, Russ. That's the structure. That's the very large and imposing structure.
Yeah, and the
And
later model years
it's
are
not
always the more
excellent
expensive
to
ones.
understand the
Oh.
scale. It's a very large structure.
Because
But specifically the lid.
BMW always adds, like back then they always used to add like very big improvements in the same model over the lifespan of the chassis.
Yeah.
And then later in the M5 of that generation, the early ones
Yeah,
got
some
these
people
really
have argued
bad
that he did
looking
some kind of
like
machine
plastic
that
headlights,
he's operating
and they're
some
only like
object,
halogens.
it's
The
some
later
kind of
ones you
technology,
get
or he's
xenons
He's got his
Oh, okay.
feet on pedals. Yeah.
that basically look like LEDs, and they got
That's what they're saying.
Exactly.
and they got really good looking daytime running lights.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at them during the daytime, like people will look at the car, even though it's like a 20-year-old BMW,
Of course.
You know, the point that you all brought
because
up
it still
is,
looks like
Yeah.
because it still looks like very
He's got the
menacing.
control pedals
Oh, okay.
and the handles, and he's, it's a Star Wars scene, and he's controlling his.
Yeah.
his-
Hey, we're not afraid to talk about spaceships.
It's all fair game.
This is interesting. All these little things bordering it.
And you can
That's
see
definitely
a
a saxophone
cross.
right
Yeah,
there. That's
too.
a sax. Yeah, that's definitely a sax.
But you
That's the
see
sky sax.
an obvious cross there.
Yeah, there's a cross. Yeah, really nicely. It's a beautiful cross. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, the thing is, I would
This
buy
could
the
be-
one
this could be
after the
rocket
E39,
fuel
which is
or
the
hair.
E60,
Could be- that could
and that's
be
the one with
this
the
dude's
V10
hair.
engine.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
I would buy it, but like
So
to find a
so
good
this
one
is it. This
that's
is
like
the poster child.
that's
Yeah.
like been taken care of is
We're looking at the lid
super
of the
difficult.
sarcophagus that would-
And one that's
I mean,
not taken care of,
15
the
grand
car is
could
very
move
cheap. repairing it is like
was
more than the
inside
car.
Down under.
Yeah.
Down under.
Exactly. So.
And they're also worthless because people still think they look very ugly.
The discoveries from the 1960s. I mean,
And the maintenance on them is just insane.
Actually find it.
Because
Serious effort.
you have to check if they did the rod bearings.
Whoever put it down there then completely filled the
And then
descending
there's
passage
other
with
problems
rubble,
with
and
the
they had to
throttle
pull
actuators and all
rubble out
that.
all the way down to get into the room where the sarcophagus is.
Plus the SMG
Crazy.
pump
So
failures.
somebody really tried to,
And they didn't know while doing it that that's what they were going to get to.
They knew something was down there. It was a passageway, but it was.
I might go with
So is this
Josh
This is the poster child?
had
okay.
his original car was a
Or is this the
330i.
one? This is the one, yeah.
Okay.
It was an E46 330i.
You got it.
Now,
Apparently there's
we're
someone
looking at protruding
who
staircases.
uses.
So
I
is
saw
this
someone on
classic?
YouTube. He got one of those COVID stimulus checks. He spent his entire stimulus check on a BMW 330i.
Oh, okay.
He got $2,000 and he found this was back when they stopped the free. Or this was back before they appreciated.
Wasn't he,
And he got a
also
CHP
a tall person?
for
Not a giant, but he was
$2,000.
tall compared to what they think.
And
the
now they're
Iowa
worth like
I've read that as
$17,000.
well.
And you know, it's funny you say that because that to this day is still very, very debated. Some say
I wonder
that,
if I could find a
you know,
broken
the
one for
tires are
cheap.
very small, and some say that
Maybe,
the
probably.
doorways were purposely small so they
And
could
by broken, it's
walk around
probably
and
going to be
show
like
reverence.
cosmetic
So
stuff that I could
the-
fix,
Yeah.
which
and
isn't that
in
bad.
particular, what
Because
I
they
would
sell.
stand out that's in the back of your mind,
No, because I can just put like M3 bumpers and whatever,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
and they're all fiberglass, so it probably weighs less.
the average
Randall
buyer
Island
would be
is
in
okay,
their 30s.
close that way.
Yeah, so he lived a long time.
Because like the whole thing
And I
is,
have read
once I
somewhere
get like the,
multiple places that he was
because
a
I
tall
want to
person,
have like
but
the
I don't
cosmetics
know.
of an M3, but with like a sedan body.
Like,
Okay.
6 feet. Like,
That would have been that would have been
Because the
NBA
problem is that like with
yeah.
the M3,
Right, yeah.
it's
Would've
2
been a tall
doors,
person.
so there's less space
Not
to
a
put
giant,
stuff.
just a tall guy. Like,
And then there's less space for people.
Maybe a lot of it could have been with his nutrition because nutrition of the commoners is
And
very.
the E46 M3 is a back seat, but it's like tiny
They had a ton of flesh.
yeah. So is
because it's a 2-door coupe.
That's all I got
Okay.
paid.
Oh yeah, those are like you try to sit in there and it's
That's right. So the archaeologists extracted this thing. Did they just take the lid?
What?
Or did they take the
Like
box
cross
too?
Bronx back. Look
No,
at
they
this.
didn't take it out.
Yeah.
No, it's still in there. It's still.
can't get it out.
It can't be gotten out. So the
Back
pyramid
there,
was
it's
built
well,
on top of it.
If the Yankees are playing, they start on it now.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow,
surprised
that's
it's all Yankees traffic.
It probably, yeah.
Right, I don't know if they're
Yes,
playing
and
here.
also, like,
They're probably
I think he
playing.
used to be able to go
Most
down
likely
there,
they're
not
playing
anymore.
at
I think they
1:30
closed it
or
off.
4:30 somewhere.
Oh yeah, like
Is
the,
it
reasons,
so like
unfortunately,
remember so
we
when I
won't
went
be
to the
able to get
Boston
in there.
trip,
Yeah.
like the
Make some
prince,
friends
the,
down
all
there.
the
Right.
all the
Let's make friends down
chaperones were
there.
like saying,
Is
don't
this-
wear a Yankees
Step
hat in
one.
Boston, you'll get harassed.
Yeah, because the Yankees and the Red Sox are like one of the oldest baseball rivalries.
So
They were like really serious too. They were
You know,
like, don't wear one.
I used to work with like my last company. We had somebody. He started working for us near Boston, so he was a Red Sox fan, and then he moved to the New York office. He was like the only Red Sox fan in the office. No, but nobody really did anything to him. It was all like whatever.
Yeah, in New York, no one will harass you for being a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
But in Boston, if you're a Yankees fan, you're going to be harassed.
She was just too excited to go party.
It's like I don't like the group. I was on bus too. And like bus two, like there was like obnoxious kids out there.
Oh.
Like they would wear Yankees. They would like wear Yankees shirts and then like yell out to random people on the street saying like the Red Sox are gonna lose.
Actually, the Yankees are in last place this year right now.
Also they yelled at random people on the street taunting Boston like compliment. Like while we were in town, I think there was a hockey match playing in Boston.
I don't know, because like right now they started out strong, but now they're in last place. The Yankees. The AL East is like crazy, really, but it's also like American League East is like really good this year. Because it used to be like kind of everybody was kind of even, but now it's like
Speed camera ahead.
but like the AL East is
Speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
100, and some of these other divisions they're people have really bad.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
very valuable to them. And that would have been a harder, more difficult to manipulate. But that's all I have actually ran into.
I think the Olmec heads are basalt.
I think the S5 like Nextos is gonna appreciate it soon too.
Maybe, I don't know.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
Because Doug DeMiro made a video on it.
Speed camera in 0.2 mile. Speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
Apparently, the person who designed the original S5 in 2008,
And we'd like to have you
they
back
considered it the best car they ever designed.
Oh, okay.
And it was like when he designed the S5, Audi basically told him to like create a new design language for Audi,
Mm-hmm.
and he created the modern Audi design
Oh, okay.
with like the grille that they use now and the headlight design and the taillights. And now they basically just took that and then updated it like over and over.
Yeah, you need like a
Anything else you want to say?
master's, like a PhD in design to like be like a really at that level. It's also like one of those.
What?
Like you think it's like simple? Like people go to school for years to learn like design, how to learn what the lines mean, why.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile. Red light camera ahead.
Thank you very much, John. We really appreciate it.
Speed camera in 0.1 mile. Speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
And then on top of that, you have to be like, when you design it, you have to design like a whole family of cars. It's not like you just design one car, whatever, because they're all like common parts and whatever, or a lot of them are common parts.
Yeah, so like you have to use the same headlights and whatever.
Yeah, and you have to like to make sure they all look good.
Oh, yeah, me and Cameron made an agreement. He says he wants to be a professional like soccer player or something. So he said like
Welcome back.
so he said if he becomes like the next Messi or
yeah, I
something,
feel like we
he'll
learned
fund
a
all
lot.
my business programs.
Absolutely.
Oh,
That was really good.
the chances of that happening are like so
I know.
remote.
It's easier to like be a professional in like any other sport besides soccer.
Is it? I don't know why.
Because, like,
No, like
soccer,
no, like to
international.
earn like any kind of money. It's easier in any other sport
Yeah, we gotta get down there.
except for soccer. Like if you're like a decent soccer player, you might not make that much.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Figure it
I'm
out.
not even sure, but to like make as much as like Messi or whatever.
Well, like I mean, if he becomes like a
But you
soccer
drink beer,
player,
He's
you have a
not.
good time, and
The
You have to-
chances of like being like Messi are like are like 0.1%.
I'm telling you, when Daniel was in kindergarten, like one of the early elementary school grades, he was playing for that Forest Hills Youth League. One time he had a coach who was like a local real estate
I forgot
agent,
about that beer.
and that year, that coach's son, like he was in what do you call it?
I guess I was kind of
He was in soccer at Chelsea Piers,
yeah.
and then on top of that, he was in soccer at Red Bulls, because like the Red Bulls, they have like a special,
Youth team.
yeah, not even a team, but it was like it's like a special development program.
Yeah, it's a club.
But you have to audition, you have to try out for the development program. They don't just take anybody.
Yeah, I know. With other sports, it's like easy. Just join a club or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to audition. With soccer clubs, I know around here, the people on my team,
Yeah.
they all had to audition for like
Yeah.
the clubs right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they only have like a limited number of people, so they have to do it.
Yeah, and only a few people from my team actually got into like the
Yeah.
club, and those like the best people on the team.
Yeah, so you have to. So if you're gonna do that, you have to be like the best person in that Red Bulls development thing, and then one of those travel clubs that go everywhere. And
He said he would just try to become like a professional soccer player.
Well, it's easy to become a professional soccer player. It's easy. It's just hard to become a good professional soccer player.
unless you're like is he like on those big travel clubs now?
Huh? Like, he's not on a travel.
Oh my god.
You have to do like
He's where? He's in Auric.
He's on art. He plays a bunch of sports. He plays like flag football, basketball, soccer.
No, but I'm telling you, unless he's like all soccer, unless he's like in a really good a bunch of travel teams now, and those are expensive, and he's not going to be a professional. To be that's how good you have to be a professional. You have to be like,
it was easier like decades ago, like when Pele just like practiced with like
yeah,
but you can't really do that anymore. You could have, like, you spent every single hour of the day, like, playing
That's right.
soccer.
I forgot Jackie is on the left
They're
lane
all
now.
labeled over there.
Yeah, if you spend, like, every single hour of the day, like Pele did,
Yeah.
it's easy. But that's not easy because you probably can't spend every hour of the day practicing soccer.
Yeah, because like in Africa they have what do you call it?
did not spark an immediate geomagnetic storm, but storms are
Africa they have like these development schools,
through the sea,
and they just take kids and like you stay in that school for free for like 10-15 years. And only a few kids make it, but the deal is like the kids who make it professionally, you have to give them back like 20% of all your lifetime earnings or whatever, and that's how they make money. So like same thing in South America, like Venezuela and whatever. They have these development schools where like you audition, they take you, you spend like 10-15 years there, and if you make it to the MLB, you have to give that school back like the 20% of your all lifetime earnings. Or like with there was that one guy I forgot from the Dodgers a couple of years ago. Like he had to pay like headhunt. He had to pay like people to sneak him across the border or whatever, and then he had to like pay him back or they'd kill his whole family. And when he joined the Dodgers, he's like, yeah, this is the deal, but I need to pay, And like the deal is, he signed a $40 million contract over like 3 years, but he had to pay the whole thing back right away in the first paycheck. And he told the Dodgers, hey, I need to like to make a deal like this, and they're like, yeah, okay, we understand.
I'm not sure. Right? That one, I think this one specifically is reverse polarity to the sun's magnetic field.
What was the double? They kill his whole family.
Yeah, because it's basically organized crime.
Why doesn't? He's like a professional baseball player.
No, but you need a visa and whatever to come to the United States to play. He didn't have it. So he was basically an illegal immigrant. But he was good enough for the Dodgers, and he snuck across the border, and the deal was that
85 protons per cubic centimeter. Sunspot number right now is 103.
Is he an American citizen now?
I know they did all the immigration thing for him because you have to do that to play.
Can he legally now go into the United States?
Yeah, he's been in the U.S. for. He played for. He was good for like. He was amazing the first year, and he was pretty good the next couple of years. And
Why didn't like immediately
For so many years it was above, right,
the moment he was allowed to
during
stay in the US?
right, and now that the sun is very active again, the neutron count is dropping way down because it's blocking those units. Yeah, it was clear.
because it's like he was from like Venezuela or something, and his family was back in South America.
Why don't he just take his family there?
Good job,
Because that's very difficult.
Yeah, because you need to be like a certain resident status
But there are a lot
for
of
them to be
protons.
allowed to come here and whatever.
That's the new M3 over there.
Oh, okay.
That's actually my favorite color too.
This is a big deal.
It's like
How are like millions of
It
people
makes the
able
bugs
to go to
bigger.
the US?
Pretty sure the proton count.
Like some people just, but like right now they're just walking across the border, but they're like, they put you in a hotel or they put you in a tent somewhere for like, I don't know how long.
But how come like years and years ago millions of people were just going to the United States?
Okay, it's the
Hold on 1 second.
Can I push that button?
No. I don't want to do an agate.
Did the immigration laws just change or something?
Hold on, give me a minute.
6,600 and something
Whoa!
So nicely done. That is an ag update that I'm proud to be delivering.
78.
He's got them all packed up. They look great.
Yep.
He did a great job. Now he's wandering around like I have nothing to do.
I don't know what to do.
they rebuilt the interchange and now there's more traffic.
It's like they just switched it. Hold on, I'm trying to remember how
I've
to
been
get to
sitting in front of that
Whitney.
labeling machine for so long on this job that I'm like, what other stuff did I used to do here back
Yeah,
in
I'm
ancient
remember now,
history? Yeah.
How are the bees?
There's always traffic on the jacket, so
Bees
the
are
traffic
doing
just switched to this side.
Harvest. Yeah. He sent a fantastic email. He sent a perfect email to the boss. Perfect.
Oh.
Perfect email. And yeah, he was just like, I want to harvest honey this year, blah blah blah. I'm gonna need to buy this, and then
They switched it because there was traffic when the people merged here, and then it was people trying to get to the jacket and whatever.
And he's like, yes. He sent a good email.
Good job, Ross. Wow.
Well, I was inspired. I went out to check the bees after doing all this labeling, and I was sitting in my car next to the hives. I already went out to remove removed the winterization stuff earlier, right? So last week or the week before, I went out there and put on the screens, which is for the summer.
For some reason, I haven't seen a lot of the new M3.
And I was just looking in the tops of the boxes.
Like, I only saw 2 so far in person.
They filled them up.
It's like 2 or 3.
Supers,
And that's it right there.
Some what?
The box goes on.
Speed camera in 0.1 mile.
Or almost.
Speed limit is 30 miles per hour.
Jackie, so
So you have hive boxes, those are the deep ones.
okay, let me try to remember.
And
Hold
now
on.
all hives have 2 hive boxes that they have filled up. And then on top of that are supers, which are
Hold on.
not as deep, but that's
Yeah.
where you put a queen
I remember
excluder
this.
so the queen can't get
You forgot already?
No, I remember. No, I remember
you
this.
harvest the honey from. So I had added
I gotta take a
some
picture right now. I gotta
supers
take a
last
picture.
year. This year
I remember
was
this
able
right
to,
now.
like, put the rest of
We could
the
drive
supers
back
and even add
to
another one to
later
one of the
on.
hives, which is so it's really
looking very
Oh, that's
respectful.
yeah, they are
Angelina's
respectful
condo.
guys. I had
Yeah.
one
That's like
today,
that-
I was like,
That's like that Jewish school, whatever.
I need to go check
If you
it
want,
out.
if you like it so much, we'll leave you here.
We're trying to hide it.
It's like one box.
Don't.
So we're not even sure if they're still in there. Yeah.
I'm gonna go check it out.
And 2 of the hives are
Put a right turn lane for it.
frequently doing what they call bearding right now, which is like right here. It's at the end of spring when they're really getting busy, going out. There's flowers everywhere. There's so many of them outside the hive doing work that they form like a beard at the entrance, which is a sign that they're really going well. Yeah.
No shave November.
Yeah.
That's when it happens. Not in the spring.
This is a bee beard, right?
Okay, it's different.
The hive has a beard.
Yeah.
Good thing I remember how to go.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, I talked to the boss about. I was sitting there in front of the hives, looking at them. One of them with a big beard on it, and I'm like, yeah, we can get honey this year. So,
Okay.
previous times I've harvested honey, it's been 1 frame, right? Most the hives have 10 frames in them per box, right? It's 10 frames across. So in this, I would open up to get 1 frame out of 1 super and all the way at the edge, which is where they put the least amount of stuff.
What's his name?
They start in the center, it's like it forms
Yeah.
a sphere, right? It
Gabriel.
goes outwards. So if they have stuff all the way to the edge, then you know that they've got a surplus. So I would pull a frame out of one of the hives that had filled the box all the way to where one of the edge frames had material on it, honey, capped honey basically. And I would harvest 1 frame manually, which is a huge pain. You know, you scrape it off there, and that destroys the comb, the honeycomb, which means the bees have to build new honeycombs.
his name
Like I would
is,
put a new frame in there as I took the other
Sean.
one. You
Yeah, I
scrape
know.
it off there, and
I know,
then
he
you
lives
gotta warm it up
that nose
very
over there.
carefully because you don't want to get it over a certain temperature. It destroys the enzymes. So you warm it up very carefully, and then the wax will like float to the top. You skim it off there and pour it through a filter, and oh my god, it's a huge pain when you
You
do
hear
it.
that, folks?
It was delicious.
Turtle Creek honey has been passed through this.
Yeah, so
Yeah, like as soon
this
as
year, if we
I
harvest honey, I'm gonna have a centrifuge.
as soon as I saw all the red
and
apartment
a,
buildings, I was like, oh wait, we're in
cone
Forest
fork,
Hills.
which
Mhm.
like allows you to puncture.
It's been
the
so long, you forgot what it looked like.
Like I didn't forget what it looked like. I didn't forget what it looked like.
And
It's
you
just
slide the frame
I
into the
didn't forget what it looked
turn
like.
it on, and it spins it. And
So I just
pulls the honey
immediately
out
saw all the red apartment buildings,
And then you can take the
and then I'm like, oh, we're in
frame
Forest
back out of
Hills.
there with the comb still on it and put it back in the hive, and they don't have to rebuild all that wax.
That's good.
Yeah. So anyway, not a lot of details, but I told the boss I wanted. I was like, look, I think they're big enough and healthy enough this year, and if we have a good year with a bunch of flowers, and it looks like we're getting that because we've been getting a lot of rain.
Oh, yeah, Union Turnpike.
Like last year was a big drought, and I was worried. But this year's lots of rain. There's flowers everywhere. The bees are going nuts, so I think we're going to be able to harvest. And I want proper equipment if I'm going to harvest an entire super 10 frames.
Is this
Yeah, if
for
you're
like
gonna be professional,
my?
you're
Is
gonna
this for like my English tutor who used to live?
and for that.
No, Dina was over there.
Oh,
It's in like this. It's in like the same
Need a
neighborhood now.
centrifuge, and I want an electric one. I'm not going to sit there.
These buildings look very similar to
Crank,
my house.
So that's
Was
the
this
I got
blade
thing.
always here?
Okay.
Wait.
Was this? I think it was always here, this blade.
Oh, Kyle's got.
Yeah, I was
All
always
I've been
here.
hearing from Kyle lately when he comes home from work, or when I call him when he's at work, is something about injection. We have a lot of injections
Okay.
going on, and I don't know what it means.
Okay, so I am injecting nutrients into the. So in our vineyard we have a drip system, right? So we ran big trunk line underground,
irrigation drip,
and the water pipes come up, and then there's this little drip tube, and then we put the emitters on there, so that we know that every emitter is a half gallon per hour. Each vine has 2 emitters, so each vine gets a gallon of water per hour when we water. And because you can control it like that, then you can inject into the water line some nutrients. So like they need iron, chelated iron.
I just hope that $4,000 car doesn't go on sale very soon.
It'll be sold.
There's probably like a bunch of other ones just like it though.
Oh, okay.
Because the 330 Xi's apparently, I don't know why, but the all-wheel drive ones are worth less for some reason. Maybe it's because like a bunch of like the car enthusiasts don't want the all-wheel drive.
Oh, because everybody wants like the rear wheel, whatever, sport drive style.
And also like, yeah, I don't think a lot of the all-wheel drive cars came with the manual.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really matter for me because I just want to like purchase it for like a very low price, because apparently I was reading like automatic to manual conversions are like, they're supposedly very cheap.
Okay.
Because like you could just find like a junkyard transmission,
Mm-hmm.
fix it, which is probably gonna take like an entire weekend. Like make sure it's fixed. And then the only expensive part about it is the labor. To like lift the car up and whatever.
Yeah, I know.
And then take out all the interior parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like you have to take everything out, disconnect the hoses, everything, take it out, then basically put the few things in, and then reconnect everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so Josh had a 330 Ci,
Mm-hmm.
which is the coupe.
Okay.
The one that I want is the 330i, or in this case, like this one that I found was a 330 Xi.
Mm-hmm.
And the car that he just sold was a 335 Xi. But it was a generation later. It was the E90. I would buy an E90 335i or 335iX or XI, or I forgot how they're called. But I don't want to deal with the N54.
Okay.
Because from what I've heard, Josh was talking about it too, but the N54, according to him, was very painful to deal with. And it's actually a very powerful car for like what it is. It's like 302 horsepower.
Yeah.
But it was BMW's first turbocharged engine. Like first mass-produced turbocharged engine.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really know how to make it right.
Yeah.
And it was also a twin turbo. So there's a lot of turbo issues, like they'll overheat and whatever. Yeah, a lot of those cars just overheat. I think Josh's car overheated a couple of times.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. And he eventually got it tuned to make more power, but it also solved some of the overheating problems. So he never actually really did anything to fix it. Because it was a 3-liter twin turbo inline 6. And back then, like before the B58 came out,
Yeah.
that engine was called the modern 2JZ.
Mm-hmm.
Now the B58 is the modern 2JZ.
Okay.
Actually, now the S58 is more of like the modern 2JZ. Because it was basically the same as a 2JZ.
Oh, okay.
Well, the design was the same. It was just like made by BMW. It was they were both 3 liters, and both the 2JZ and the N54 were twin turbo.
Mm-hmm.
But the N54, their 335i's, they have like 650 horsepower.
Yeah.
There's some 1,000 horsepower 335i's. And there's a lot of, and it's like the same with the Supra that has a 2JZ.
Speed camera in 0.1 mile. Speed limit is 20 miles per hour. Speed camera in 0.1 mile.
25 miles.
Speed limit is 20 miles per hour. Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
I don't think 1,000 horsepower is possible in the stock block on the 335i. On the 2JZ, you can make 1,000 horsepower without changing the block, which is crazy. But then with the S58 and the B58, you don't have to do any major work to the block either, so you can just make 1,000 horsepower in the stock block. I think that's a V6 Camaro over there.
Let me see, hold on.
Oh no, it's an SS.
Oh. Those aren't 3 seats, the Telluride. I heard that people were saying they were like true 3-seaters.
Yeah, they are true 3-row crossovers.
Oh, they're like the size of an X7, or?
Yeah, it's basically an X7.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why people are paying so much money for it. It doesn't look that big.
It's way bigger on the inside.
It's bigger than ours?
Yeah, it's a 3. Well, technically ours, before you can get the X5 as a 3-row.
Yeah, I know, but it's
those back seats are
fake,
tiny.
Yeah, the fake 3-row, like Mark has.
No, the Highlander's a true 3-row.
No, it's not.
Technically, it is.
Oh.
Because you can't get a 2-row Highlander. Actually, wait, can you get it? No, you can't get a 2-row Highlander. Toyota is actually making one more, like, I guess if people thought the Highlander was small.
Yeah.
They're making an even bigger Highlander.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, the Grand Highlander.
Yeah, that's the true 3-row.
It's going to be the true 3-row.
Yeah.
Because it's not on sale yet. And then there's also a teaser that Lexus put out, because there's going to be a Lexus version of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the Lexus TX.
Oh, okay.
And they're also teasing the new Lexus GX. And there's also been a couple of copyright filings that Lexus put out.
Yeah.
They've copyrighted the names TX 550.
Yeah.
And GX 550. And there's also going to be a TX 450. And they've also copyrighted TX 500. What?
Probably just copyrighting everything to, okay, I don't remember. Can you actually go here, or is it, that's why it's slow, because the left turn lane. Traffic is worse now than it is the weekdays.
Probably because of, like, the remote work. Yeah, and if I do, like, the entire bill with, like, the aftermarket body parts, I don't think anyone has ever made, like, I don't think I've ever seen anything posted of, like, people making an all-wheel drive V8 M3 with that body style.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anyone's done that yet. Like, everyone has made, like, turbo M3s or, like, supercharged M3s. But there's no one who has done that to, like, a 330xi yet. And the car looks beat up because it's, like, $4,000. But like detailing could probably fix that. I'd also probably like get what's it called? The M3 headlights too. Or like aftermarket M3 headlights. Because on the aftermarket you can get ones with LED daytime running lights. Which sort of like at night or in like a parking garage, it like gives it like puts the outlines on the certain.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, if you get the DRLs, on the aftermarket, you could probably like have like those like lights that outline the shape of like the projectors, because that's what I saw in a lot of people's M3s. They just change the lights out for those to make it look more modern. On this one, the bumper also looks like beat up. Like it has like some sort of like dent on it, or like there's a lot of scratches on it.
Okay, buff them out.
Well, I'll just replace the bumper with an M3 bumper.
I knew somebody who had like a '67 Camaro, and like he was restoring it. Like he didn't want to do it, but he paid somebody to basically sand the entire car before he painted it. And I think he sand and painted it. I went to see him one time. He was out there like sanding the car. That's what you're going to be doing. Get you the right sandpaper, sand it out, paint it.
I just invite Olivia over, and then like I'm just gonna like, and then I'm not gonna be in the house. I'm gonna be sanding the car outside.
Yeah.
Everyone probably thinks I'm like crazy for buying like a $4,000 BMW from 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
And then trying to save it.
So I'm trying to remember. Woodhaven ends.
It's not like I have to wait until after the summer to get it. I could definitely crack $4,000 by the end of like, or like by mid-June. I could crack $4,000 by then.
But you need the permit first.
I'm not gonna drive it until after the summer.
Oh, okay.
And then it's probably gonna be like, if I take driving lessons.
Speed camera in 0.2 mile.
If I take
Speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
You could just learn on that car. Because it's also a manual. So
25 mile per hour speed limit camera
if I
ahead.
were you.
Oh, only because of the hills?
Yeah, that I'm telling you, like, I guess people used to learn with it, but it's like
Red light camera ahead.
depending on how the shift.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
On the hills, you can it'll drift back if you don't do it right.
If you're not in enough gear.
Yeah, it'll drift back, or like the engine will just cut out if you don't do it exactly right on hills. It's not. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a hard time learning.
I mean, well, that's just like part of it from what I've heard. Like once you learn, it just like it's easy.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it. I mean, I've driven stick before, but I wouldn't buy one anymore. I mean, like people do it because they want to be cool now and whatever, but like it's a lot easier to just relax, put on manual and relax back and just drive instead of just always changing gears. Like over here, I'd be changing gears all the time.
Like what I would do,
it'd be a pain in the ass every 2 seconds like this.
No, like if I had the money for an M3, I'd buy one in SMG.
Okay.
Which is like you can choose if you want to go
Red light
manual
camera ahead.
with the paddle shifters.
Okay.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
Because it's an SMG.
Yeah.
And you have to change the pumps once they like fail on you. But like a manual is like the next best thing, because like with an older automatic, I don't like those. I'd rather like take an older manual over an older automatic. With this car, I could deal with this automatic.
Yeah.
With older automatics, it's less stressful in hills, but the car is always gonna be hunting for gears.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the problem with the older automatics that are like or whatever. It's like very indecisive because they're only based on the throttle input.
Yeah.
And it's like oil pressure instead of the computers.
Hopefully we get there. I think 140 was the layout last appointment.
Yeah, because from what I know, like with the older automatics, it's not like a sensor, but there's like it just uses oil pressure from when you like press the throttle.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the oil pressure, it activates different solenoids.
Oh, hold on. Go NYC.
Yeah, but the thing with that kind of system
Mm-hmm.
is that like on hills, if you're putting like a very specific amount of throttle pressure, it can't really decide how like what gear to choose,
Mm-hmm.
because it's only based on like
Yeah.
these like certain solenoids, and there's only a few to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So with the manual, it's just gonna stay in one. You can just learn to stay in one gear all the time on a hill. It's
Okay.
hard, but like the car isn't gonna be switching between second and third
Mm-hmm.
every time you go up a hill, and that arguably saves fuel, and probably is easier to maintain because it's not going to be pressing on clutches all the time. So I could probably do it, especially since this car is like easily attainable within like a month. And there's people who own older BMWs at my school.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I know someone on the track team who owns what is it? He owns an E46 325 CI convertible.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit less than the 330i,
Mm-hmm.
but his is like a 2.5 liter engine instead of a 3 liter engine.
Oh, okay.
And his is a 2-door convertible. And he's on the varsity track team. Like I would get an M3 with an SMG, but like because like those are cheaper M3s,
Mm-hmm.
plus like unlike a regular automatic, it just chooses what gear to be in because it's computer controlled. The only downside is that they're super expensive to maintain.
Oh, okay.
Because like and they're also very rough. Like that's the main thing I hear, but I don't care about how rough it is because I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I wouldn't really mind it being rough, because like I've seen in videos where people are driving at like normal speeds,
Mm-hmm.
and like every time the car shifts gears, like the M3 with an SMG, the entire car shakes. Because it's not like a manual where you can choose how smooth you shift.
Yeah.
With an SMG, you can decide based on like there's settings with how smooth you want it.
Yeah.
But you never want to put in the smoothest setting because it slips the clutch.
Oh, okay.
Because an SMG is literally a manual that's controlled by a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And so to make it smoother, the way they programmed it is it slips the clutch to make it smooth, like an automatic.
Oh, okay.
But if you're slipping the clutch every single time, that means you're going to have to replace the clutch more often.
Hold on. Where am I going? D straight.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to
Get there barely in time.
So I wouldn't want to replace the clutch every single 6 months because I want it to be smooth.
Oh, okay.
So to actually keep it reliable, what people recommend is you keep it in the roughest setting, the most sports oriented setting.
Oh, okay.
And then just deal with the pain of and then you just kind of deal with every time you shift, you're probably gonna break your back because the car just shakes. I mean, it's the same thing that happens in a manual when you're racing. The car shakes because you're trying to shift gears very quickly.
Oh, okay.
And with the SMG, it's the same thing, but the computer just does it so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
And that was BMW made the first of that kind of transmission, and then they abandoned it with a dual clutch, and then now they're using a regular automatic. Lamborghini actually was the last company to use that kind of SMG style transmission.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was last used in the Aventador.
Oh, okay.
And one of the main jokes about Aventadors is that you never take your girlfriend in it because it's extremely painful every time it shifts.
Oh, okay.
Even in those even in that tier of really expensive car, with that kind of transmission, every time you do launch control in an Aventador, what happens is there's a Corvette.
Oh, okay.
In an Aventador, when you use launch control, not only is it rough during shifts, but the launch the launch itself, it's extremely violent.
Oh.
It literally throws you back in your seat. Because and then in the Huracan, which is the newer, it's a slightly newer Lamborghini with a dual clutch.
Yeah.
It's aggressive. It just doesn't throw you back. Because in an Aventador, when you do launch control, what it's really doing is it's dumping the clutch.
Yeah.
It just revs the engine up, and then it just dumps the clutch, which is why it's so rough. And then every time you shift in an Aventador, you're going like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, SMGs were common in a lot of sports cars for a while, in the mid 2000s. But they stopped using them because BMW customers complained that the SMG was too rough. I think there's a lawsuit over it where someone complained that it was worsening their back pain. But I think it's only because they kept on pushing it as this new technology, and they even started putting it in the M5.
Oh.
It's one thing to put it in an M5.
Speed camera in 0.2 mile.
The M3
Speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
An M5 is just a sedan with a big engine that you could use as a luxury sedan.
Speed camera in 0.1 mile.
An M5
Speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
An M5 is like a car you can use to like drive daily.
Yeah.
But if someone pulls up
Oh,
next
it's right
to you,
there. Hold on.
but if someone pulls up next to you, like in a Ferrari, you can also like race them and probably beat them in an
Okay.
M5.
Mm-hmm.
And so the E60 with the V10 had the SMG, and that's where a lot of the lawsuits came from, because they put it in what's basically a 4,000-pound luxury sedan.
Oh, okay.
And because of the extra weight,
Mm-hmm.
they made the shifts extra rough.
Mm-hmm. What did she say?
Who?
Remind me.
Oh, Joshua's mom is in New Jersey, so they're not home.
Oh, okay. Tell her stop by and get her cookies.
Oh, like them?
Yeah. No, we'll make it.
Oh, for the appointment?
Yeah, because I have to park somewhere around here. Let's do it this way. It's,
What is it, 145?
it was like 120, but you have to park first. Park here, like, oh, 39th Avenue is up there. Oh, parking over there.
Yeah, so like given the choice between like a regular automatic
Mm-hmm.
and a manual, I'd choose like a manual.
No.
But if it was between an SMG and a manual, I'd choose an SMG.
Good luck learning on it.
Well, an SMG is like the same thing on a hill. It's just that the computer's deciding which gear to use. And it's like 10 times more rough. And then also like depends on the shifter, but like you can change. People say that you can change out like the shifter to like make it more comfortable or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like the clutch could be a lot lighter if you like replace that.
Yeah.
But I also don't have $5,000 to spend on an expensive racing clutch.
63rd Street. I'm going look for parking. Is that a driveway? Yeah. Oh, it's a stop sign. It's over here somewhere. over here.
Red light camera ahead.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
What? What'd you say?
Red light camera ahead.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile. Speed camera in 0.2 mile. Speed limit is 20 miles per hour.
20.
Thought it was 25.
25 mile per hour speed limit camera ahead. Please watch your speed. .25 mile per hour speed limit camera ahead.
Mommy keeps saying that it's a good car, but she's saying that she says I should like be careful because like I can't. Well, I haven't looked at like what it is like mechanically.
Did you tell her it's a manual?
She saw from like I said it was a manual.
Oh.
At this point, I don't think she's gonna try and like question it. Well, if it's a manual, that means that she can't drive it herself. Wait, this one has like the navigation in it.
You can always put the CarPlay crap in there. It's like $500.
Well, what I'm planning to do is eventually put a digital gauge in it.
I could do it myself.
Or like replace the gauges.
No, like replace the thing with the CarPlay adapter. You can just buy.
Yeah, you can buy screens for those as well.
Not even like this probably, but what do you call it? Like a lot of those old systems, it's just what do you call it? It's you have like the radio.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
There's a wiring harness behind it. It's not like you have to have like individual wires. It's like they all go through this harness and just plugs in. So what do you call it? So you take it off, you do the harness, put the new one in. You might need an adapter, but like when you go to like Best Buy or Crutchfield or whatever, they tell you like you put in your model, the year and whatever, and they tell you which radios are compatible. Some you need to buy an installation kit. And or some other adapters or whatever.
Oh. But yeah, I haven't read like if there's anything wrong with it mechanically.
People will lie. They'll say like, "Oh, nothing's wrong with it." Like,
yeah, because what I've heard is like for BMWs, you should absolutely get a PPI.
oh, okay.
Like a pre-purchase inspection.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those cars will like have hidden codes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this one has like almost 180,000 miles, so it's probably like fine, except for like minor codes.
Okay. 180,000 miles, like all the gaskets and crap, but they haven't been replaced. They're like.
I mean, you could. It depends. It's in Pennsylvania, I think. Wait, is it in Nyack or is it in Yonkers or Pennsylvania? I can't tell. Apparently this has a 4 point, like the car itself has like a 4.6 out of 5 rating. which probably doesn't mean anything. Oh yeah, the seller is in Pennsylvania, Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania, which means that if I want to look at it, like test drive it to make sure nothing's wrong, I have to go all the way out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know where Saylorsburg is. The seller only has like a 2.1 star rating.
2.1 star?
It's probably a very bad thing. Yeah, if the seller is that low of a rating, I probably definitely want to check the car out itself.
Read his other sales, see what people say.
Let's see. Seller's website. Oh, there's a Carfax report for it.
Oh, okay. I think they do it automatically.
4 previous owners. That's also probably a very bad thing.
I mean, you're not a car that old. You're gonna have a bunch of previous owners.
It's true, but on M3s, like there's usually only like 1 or 2 owners. But then again, it's not an M3.
Red light camera ahead.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
So January 5th, 2004, it was registered in Woodbridge. And then anti-theft device present at the time of inspection.
Okay.
Oh, and then at 2006, 36,000 miles, the starter was replaced.
Oh, at how much? 36,000 miles?
Yeah. I wonder if there's something wrong with the starter in those cars.
I don't know, but I mean, like, when you get a replacement one, chances are it'll be better than.
If it fails, I could probably vehicle serviced, inspection, front brake pads, wiper, nothing. Okay, that's normal. So basically 50,000 miles, the fuses were replaced.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's okay. So it's that kind of car.
It's a lemon?
Technically it's not a lemon because lemons are brand new cars. But this is going to be like one of those things where, you're going to have to like do stuff.
It looks like it was only once at 50,000 miles, and then there's been no other things. But if the fuses had to be replaced at 50,000 miles, I wonder if it's like throwing out like false codes at like 180.
I don't know. Like it could just be like the way the wiring was ran. It was near the engine. The wires were getting hot, getting shorted out, and they had to replace the fuses.
Let's see. Oh, so 77 in 2010. Just says maintenance inspection. 2013. Vehicle only in 2013.
Red light camera ahead.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
They're getting it re-registered or something. And second owner at 125,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then 134 Fluids checked, brakes checked. Oh, so there's nothing really passed. Yeah, there's nothing for the second owner. There's no issues that they had. The only issue is that it failed the emissions inspection.
When?
2016 at 150,000 miles.
Oh, but it probably passed already.
It passed the safety inspection.
Yeah, but they had to have passed the emissions unless...
That's weird.
With Jersey, I don't know what the deal is with old cars, like as far as the emissions. I think it's always at the model year, whatever the rates were then, things were then.
Maybe. Let's see. Oh, third owner, purchased 2016. New York, failed emissions past safety. It failed emissions twice, so maybe the fuses have something to do with that. Because it might have thrown off some sensor or something.
Yeah. No, but when they do the emissions, they measure the tailpipe, so.
No, but like I think there's like aren't there sensors in the catalytic converters that like tell the engine what to do or whatever?
I think so.
So those might be bad or something. I don't know. Or something might have affected that with the fuses. And then 2018 accident reported, damage to left side.
Oh.
Well, I can just replace them. I want to turn into an M3 sedan anyway. Because those were never made. Maintenance inspection completed. Oh, this time it passed in 2019 at 160,000 miles.
Oh.
Passed emissions. 2020 passed emissions at 167,000 miles.
They might have tuned it. They had to detune it.
Well, in this case, I'm probably gonna give it like some light tune at first, and like some exhaust work. But eventually, I want to engine swap it because you can't really get anything out of those engines without turbocharging.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to turbocharge it. It's either I want to. That was a Mustang. It's either like I want to supercharge it, but I don't want to supercharge those 6.
Red light camera in 0.1 mile.
Because like unlike those kinds of engines, any like forced induction.
Red light camera ahead.
It mutes the sound, so like it sounds loud. Like the exhaust sounds loud. It mutes all the sound on the inside.
Oh, okay.
All you just hear is the air from the turbochargers, which is why I don't want that. And then 2020, exempt from odometer reporting. Vehicle offered for sale. Oh, so it hasn't been serviced in like years. That's probably an issue.
I mean, the person could have done it themselves, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, yeah, because like, there's no records of it being serviced after 2018.
Or they just garaged it, never, I don't know.
I'm gonna consider it, so I just bookmarked that page. Because it looks like a very good car for what it is. But yeah, eventually, like with the engine, I just want to swap it out for either like a 6-cylinder from the M3.
Yeah.
Or I want to take an M62 from the 5 Series, or preferably the S62 from the M5.
Oh, okay.
Because those can fit. At least, if a V10 can fit, a V8 can probably fit in there. Because someone has already done it. And I'm not sure if there's any V8 swapped M3s. Or any V8 swapped 3 Series. There probably has been.
Speed camera in 0.1 mile. Speed limit is 20 miles per hour. Speed camera in 0.1 mile.
It's not one of those
Speed
things
limit is 20 miles per hour.
where the car is listed, and then once you contact them, they'll say, "Oh, it's not for sale anymore."
I don't know. I doubt it. But I don't know.
When was the vehicle last? Wait, when was the last? When is it offered for sale? Oh, offered for sale April 6th. So I don't think anyone bought it yet. Like, do they just take the listing off off the website whenever it's sold?
I think so.
Let's see. Warranty expired. Well, obviously it's expired. It's 179,238 miles.
Oh.
And apparently these cars last until, like, there's, like, in some cases they'll last up to, like, 350,000 miles.
Oh, okay.
If you do the proper, like, maintenance and whatever.
Let's see. Let me try to find a parking spot. Is there a parking lot here?
There should be.
Oh, it's over there. Where's the... Where's the... Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Did
The what?
I went the wrong way.
Oh, is that the party?
I mean, that's like different people, but I think
I don't know, cause there's a lot of parties over here, so I can't tell which one. What is that? A car meet over there?
where?
Look,
I don't know.
it's an S2000 and